Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to offer you some space for healing and support. I don't have a plan really, except I'm going to pull a healing energy card. I'll pull one of these shortly. And I've got my drum here today, so I'm going to do a bit of drumming. So we'll do a bit of drumming depending on what the card is and what we talk about, or what I talk about, I suppose. Will depend on what the focus and the intention of the drumming is. So I very much love and find it beneficial time and time again to just let things unfold. So I don't have a plan. I haven't meditated or given thought to what we're going to do today. That doesn't work for me. I want to run and roll with the energy as it happens. I want to feel the feelings that are coming up and let them move and get the energy shifting. So I trust that. It's how I do my work. It's how I connect with healing when I'm connecting with people. It's how I do my own healing. So it works for me. So welcome. I want to firstly send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So I think we can start, can we? Welcome everybody. Let's do a quick hello in the comments. We're saying hello to Margarita, welcome, and Anita from New Zealand, welcome. Hi, Azra and Joe. Hello, McDerlin and Anne, and Angela's here. Mari's here, welcome. And Joanna. Hi, Joanna. How are you doing today? Oops, just dropped a card. I don't care for the card. It doesn't matter if I drop a card. I just put it back in because I am clear about the way I pick my cards. You may pull the ones or read the ones that jump out, but I don't tend to. And that's okay. Hi, Linda. Welcome. So let's see what the majority of us need today. I'm using my healing energy cards. There are 2 decks in here, 110 cards. These are looking weird because they're photo paper and these decks. I'm just basically doing the very, very, very final refining before we get them printed. Hello, Tyra, maybe? Tyra, welcome. Sorry, Tyra. I'm not really sure how to pronounce your name, but welcome. Okay, let's grab the best card for the majority of us. What do we need to know? The majority of us at this time. What do we need to talk about? What's going on? I'll get to the card in a moment. Okay, we'll grab this card here. Tyra. Ah, great. Thanks, Tyra. Okay, we've got this card, 84. It says large and looming. It's in the rest category here. Rest, large and looming. And down here it says, the scale may seem overwhelming. Intensity, step out of your comfort zone, practice, get the task complete, conquer this, work hard, commitment. So this to me makes it feel like there might be something big that's going on at the moment. So whether it's a deadline, whether it's a lot that's going on that we might be on the verge of or maybe feeling overwhelmed with. There might be loose ends that we need to tie up. There might be a mountain of paperwork that we have to deal with and we've been putting it off. There may be a confrontation we need to have with someone that we know is coming that we've also been putting off. So this sort of large looming energy that seems to be hovering around at the moment, this big energy, these big things that at least to us in this moment feel big. On paper, they might also be big as well, but there may be some things that we might be blowing out of proportion. There might be some things that seem mountainous that actually are just a small little anthill down here that we can just easily step over. So it's really important with this energy that we keep perspective, because things can tend to blow out of perspective, especially if we're talking about size, size or that sort of perspective of things. So I think the first thing maybe for us to check in with and be honest about is what is the actual reality of what we feel is large and looming right now. Is there a lot of stuff going on? Are you dealing with really difficult health things? And yes, that would be a large and looming thing. Is it maybe an argument that's happened with somebody that you've taken to personally, and maybe it's been blown out of proportion, maybe a bit more than what it really truly is? And it's not that I'm trying to undermine or dilute the intensity of what you feel, but what I've noticed is that the more overwhelming things are, the more we're blowing things out of proportion. Because we do tend to, once we get into that feeling of overwhelm, which means we probably haven't taken action before it got to that stage, once we get into that overwhelmed state, the only thing really that we can do is take a break, is what I've noticed, is to actually step back, take a break, get back into a reality sort of perspective. I also find it helpful to write a list down of all the things that I feel that I'm overwhelmed about. You know, what is all this stuff that I feel that I just can't handle right now? And I make a list of that stuff, and that list actually gets it out of my head, gets it out of my body, gets it on paper, and pretty much, probably 95% of the time, I look at that list and I go, what the heck? Why am I blowing this out of proportion? Why am I so overwhelmed by something that I could probably do in a day? Or, you know, I could accomplish this pretty easily. Now I see it down on paper. So I think we need to be careful when things are large and looming, or when we slip into overwhelm, that we're not blowing things out of proportion. I think for me, if I get into overwhelm, that's a sign instantly that I need to take a break, which is almost the opposite of what I think I need, because I think I just need to go because everything is just too much. But actually, when I get the perspective, I need to take the day off, or I need to step back for a little bit to reset myself and then get focused again. So let's just make sure we're not blowing things out of proportion that feel large and looming or overwhelming. There may be things, very real things, that a lot of us are dealing with now that are big deals, connected with health, connected with changes in our life, connected with changing home, changing job, changing relationships, changes happening with our children or family members. There are a lot of big things happening right now. So I certainly don't want to make it seem like everything is just us blowing it out of proportion, because it necessarily isn't. So there are big things happening too at the moment. So what can we actually do, or what steps have we taken, or have we started or can consider to help get things happening, to help us get through our day as we journey through this large and looming big energy that's around? Instead of getting lost in it or drowning in it, how can we keep our head above water and create perhaps a doable plan, maybe reassess our priority list, maybe look at all the things that we're dealing with just to get perspective and make sure we're really clear on what it is that we're dealing with. Maybe, like for me, I've been creating a list, a plan, day by day for the last couple of weeks, just to help me deal with the big things I've got going on so I don't get overwhelmed. And just, today I'm doing these tasks, tomorrow I'm doing these tasks, and, have these things set so I can see clearly in my mind my plan moving forward. And, sometimes things don't go according to plan, and I've certainly got flexibility for that because I haven't overfilled my days or my plan, so that it has room for things that might need to be changed. So I think now, as we prepare to go in with the drum, with this sort of energy in mind, I think and feel that it's important maybe to hold this space, one, to reflect and assess what's really going on for you at the moment. Are you blowing things out of proportion? To get perspective of what's going on, what action steps are you taking to help yourself through this big period if you are going through big things. How are you supporting that journey through, or are you just winging it? And is that working for you? It may be, but maybe it isn't. So I think assessing and really checking in with ourselves as to where we're at right now with these big things. If things are just in breakdown mode because it's just too much right now, then maybe the drum, you can think of the drum coming in and supporting you and holding you as you take these moments, these minutes, these hours, these days, or whatever time you have to take that break, to rest, to reset yourself, and then refocus again. So if there's something too that's more pressing and important to you that has not been discussed, I also trust that you receive that from the drum. So I'm going to prepare to play the drum, and I know from experience that the drum sounds awful with this microphone I'm using. So in a moment I'm going to unpin it and put it as far away as I can reach, and then play the drum. Otherwise it's going to rattle and be awful. So if it still rattles a bit, I do apologise in advance, but hopefully it will be okay. So I'm going to play here my shamanic drum. There's nothing you can do wrong. Just listen. Just listen. See what happens. Listen and take some big deep breaths and see how your body responds to the drum. See what you need to let go of. See what you need to reassess. See what you need support with. And let the drum hold you in that. So enjoy. I trust you enjoy the drumming, and I will talk to you when I'm finished. And I'll pick up my microphone again. Okay. Okay, thank you. Wow. They actually moved very quickly. I don't know if you felt it, but what I felt was, especially at the beginning when it was very slow, was that bringing attention to the large, looming, big things that we're dealing with right now. So it sort of tapped us into that energy, which is what we have to do if we want to assess and find a solution and move through things. We can't expect that we're going to move through something and ignore the thing that we're trying to move through. We have to summon it in many ways so we can be in it, feel it, understand it, and maybe resolve it, find a solution, and find a way through it. So the very slow and drumming at the beginning was like a summoning all that big energy in. And then the drum moved quicker, and I could feel the energy moving out or moving through, like a wind, like a fog that sort of sits and simmers, and it just hovers there. And then the breeze picks up, and the breeze blows the fog away, and that's what the quicker drum beat felt like. And you know what it felt like at the end? This big, almost like a release, or release, not quite the right word. I suppose like a release of pressure, and a reminder that no matter what big things we've got going on right now that are large and looming for us, these big deal things, we're going to get through them. Everything's going to be okay. So at this point on our path, and wherever this large looming thing or things sits, you know, whether we're in the middle of it now, we've just moved through it, or it's coming, and we know it's coming, we might have dates, we might have things that are coming up. No matter where we sit on that, let's be proactive in helping support ourselves through it. So whether it be organising, creating that plan, and doing what we can as we move towards that date or whatever it might be, whether it be supporting ourselves as we deal with the aftermath and let things settle and find our new footing, work out a new routine. So wherever we're at with this big thing that's big and personal for us, or these things, because it's more than one thing for me, I know that. And it's not a bad thing. I feel very, very organised with the big things I've got going. They don't feel looming to me. They're approaching, but they don't feel overwhelming at this point. If I was talking to you this time last week, I would have been in a completely different state. So I think, you know, how can we support ourselves no matter which phase or which part of this large, big thing that we've got going on, how can we support ourselves through it? So if you just joined in, I was playing the drum with this card in mind, which you may not have seen before. It's card 84, called Large and Looming. So this large looming thing under the surface or coming up or we've just been through, but here on top is this daffodil, this growth, this flower, this beauty that sits on top. So there is something good to come out of this large, big thing that we're dealing with, or things that we're dealing with now. So I'm going to pop this card back. I'm going to get ready to pull a card to go. First of all, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please interact, hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. If you want to learn more about me and the work I do here, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. If you get something valuable out of my videos and you haven't ever supported or supported lately, then maybe consider purchasing something on my website to support you, and it also helps support me. So thank you. Okay. This feels exciting. I'm preparing to pull a card to go. And I have a feeling this might be the last time I'm in here until Wednesday's guidance. So I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need to go. What do we need to know about what's next, especially in regards to what I suppose, have been talking about? How can we carry this through? How can we help ourselves? How can we find the opportunity within the challenges of the big thing or things that we're currently involved with? What do we need to know about what's next? And it's usually about the next 24 hours. So let's grab this card for what's next. Ooh, what's it going to be? Oh, and here, this flower. Card 34, blossoming. It's in the action category, so no more resting on it if you've been a bit distracted and not really dealing with what you need to deal with now, this is the action. So there's action energy that's coming forward. And this is the blossoming card, 34. Down here it says self-growth. Plant the new, actively growing, opening, physical discomfort as you grow. Now, what I mean by that, specifically with this card, this is one of the original cards, the very beginning of this deck, and it's come up a lot of times over the last decade or longer. And this often comes up when we're going through a very personal transformation. So I imagine it or liken it to the caterpillar turning into or creating a cocoon around itself. And then that caterpillar is literally being pulled apart physically to be put back together again in a new way as the butterfly. Now, this is the energy in the cocoon, where some of us may be feeling like we're being poked and prodded at. We may feel battered and bruised. We may feel like our limbs are being pulled out from the sockets as we're physically, literally being transformed. We are changing. We are changing. So we're in a period of change, of transformation. So then what can we do to support ourselves? We be gentle with ourselves. We roll with the energy as we feel it. So when we feel motivated, we roll with it. When we feel restful and slow, we roll with it as best as we can. And it says it's time to activate. This is actually the most important sentence. It's time to activate who you truly are and let it shine. And this big thing that we're dealing with, these big things that a lot of us are going through, are calling and summoning versions and parts of ourselves, are calling us into roles and experiences that a lot of us have never ever experienced before. So these are brand new big things, and this may be why they seem large and looming at times, because it's a brand new situation. We're having to research, we're having to learn, we're having to talk to experts, we're having to figure out how to work our way through these big brand new things. So it is calling us to activate who we truly are and let ourselves shine. It is calling new versions of ourselves forward like never before. So it's up to us now whether we sink or whether we swim, whether we rise or whether we fall, whether we let the big things happening overwhelm us and break us down and depress us, or whether we figure out a way through. We figure out a way through the rubble. We work our way out of it. One step, one day, one breath at a time. It's up to us. And the energy feels very uplifting and very supportive in our journey, our personal journey forward at this time. We are blossoming, we are growing, we are opening, if we allow ourselves to do that. If we are willing to shift our perspective and turn the challenge into an opportunity. Where is the opportunity in this challenge? What is good, the good that can come from this thing? Is this really an opportunity to start afresh, try something new, rebuild, look after ourselves better, refine our routine? You know, the list goes on. So I trust this helps you and supports you and maybe inspires you at this point. It's very exciting. Very exciting, actually. This big thing that we've got going on is going to be a big, great thing. So maybe we don't even need to look for the opportunity and the challenge, because it all is just worth celebrating. So let's celebrate, let's do our best, let's know we're supported, let's work our way through and know in our hearts the truth that we are not alone in this. So thank you so much for connecting today. Have a great rest of your day. Happy diving into big things. And I will see you and connect with you again very soon. Take care of yourself and namaste. Bye.